In this video, we're going to talk about the use of role play in supervision. Supervision is really important if you're a counsellor, psychotherapist, coach, mindfulness teacher, any kind of helping professional practitioner. You should be engaging in supervision, which is someone else trained in your field with additional training in supervision that will help you, lives inside your confidentiality bubble, so you can go with them with problems, with things you're struggling with, and they will help you work through it. Make sure you're following best practice, make sure you're following ethical guidelines to support you and to support your clients. So your supervisor is there to support you and to provide a safe space that you might not have elsewhere. So if you're worried about something, that's a really good thing to bring to supervision. And you don't just have to talk about it in supervision, but you could also try it out in supervision. And that's where role play comes in and can be really useful. And there's two types of role play we can use here. So the first is that the supervisor role plays the client. So you want to try explaining a technique to a client. You want to tackle a difficult issue. You're worried that they're going to react in a certain way. You can ask your supervisor to role play the client, and you can go through that role play for you as the practitioner, explaining the technique, having the difficult conversation, whatever it is. If there's something you're worried about coming up, like a client starts talking about self-harm or suicide or something, and you're thinking, I'm not really comfortable doing that. Great idea to ask your supervisor to role play a potential client with those problems, and then you can practice dealing with it in this safe space, in this place where you can easily get feedback from your supervisor on what's working, what isn't, so that you can practice in that safe space before you have to take it into your real practice. Now you can do this multiple times, doesn't have to be a one-time thing. So first off, you could ask your supervisor to role play a client who really gets it or really responds well to that conversation. And then you can gradually crank up the difficulty, get your supervisor to be a bit less amenable to replicate a client who maybe isn't so easy to get on with. And that way you'll get practice with a range of these fake clients. So again, if you run into this situation in practice, you already know what to do when you're in these tough situations because you've tried it out with your supervisor. So getting your supervisor to role play the client and you staying as the practitioner is probably the most useful kind of role play you can do in supervision. But if you're really stuck, if you're not really feeling you're there, you can do it the other way around. So you can take on the role of a client and you can ask your supervisor to take on the role of a practitioner. And this is really useful if you really just have no idea about how to respond to a particular situation. You can bring what your client has said or what you think a potential client might say, and you can see how your supervisor reacts to it and how your supervisor deals with it. And therefore you have a model to take inspiration from, see what works, see what doesn't, into your own practice. So there's two types of ways you can use role playing in supervision. If you found this video useful, then please give it a thumbs up. And if you're a mental health professional, then I would love to see you in another video. Hit that subscribe button because that's what this channel is all about. And there's loads of great resources on here for you.